Is the Jeanneau NC895 Series 2 a good boat to spend more than just one night on? Stick around and find out. Greetings from the Outer Banks. Last month we went on a 4-day cruise on our Jeanneau NC895, and it was a great trip. So let's talk a little bit about the details. Before leaving, I had a couple of boat projects going on. I was in the middle of a solar panel install, but because of the weather, I was not able to complete it and had to use a temporary setup. However, it still worked great. Another thing I did right before leaving was make a couple of fender boards in case we ended up going somewhere where there were exposed pilings. I'm glad we did, because in Belhaven we needed to use one. When planning a boat trip, you need to be flexible. Things like weather can delay trips or change where you're going, which is what happened to us. We originally planned a 7-day trip, but because of work constraints and weather, had to cut it down to 4 days. Our original plan was to head south to Ocracoke Island. However, the day we were leaving, the wind was gusting 30 out of the southwest, and the Pamlico Sound is not where you want to be heading into that straight on. Not the place you want to do that. So we had to make a change. We decided to go west to the Alligator River, to where the ICW cuts down, head south from there, and go to Belhaven. We knew it would be rough at first. The boat handled the rough weather the first day pretty well. As you can see, it was rough enough where I had a hard time even holding my phone up to record the video. It was a very wet ride, but that was the only bad part. The rest of it was not a problem. Once past the Alligator River Bridge, it begins to narrow down some, and it improved as we continued south. Then the ICW turns into a canal, which is about 25 miles long, that was dug, that goes towards Belhaven. That was a much smoother ride. It was a lot of fun. Not much scenery, but at speed, it was pretty good. We were going to anchor out in Belhaven, but a couple of factors changed that decision. The first one is the anchor that comes on the boat is undersized, in my opinion, and it was very windy, and it was supposed to be a thunderstorm late that night. So we decided to utilize the town free dock, which is about a half a mile from town, and there's about 8 slips on a long pier, and that was actually a great decision. The good part is the wind kept any bugs away, and the lightning storm was spectacular. I was able to watch it for about 3 hours that night before it hit. It kept the temperature down too, so we didn't have to run the generator for AC, since there are no services at the town free dock. The next morning we were greeted with a nice sunrise and less wind, and we made about the 43-mile hike to Oriental, North Carolina, which is considered the North Carolina sailing capital. In Oriental, we decided to stay at a marina because it's right down close to everything. It was extremely hot, and there's a pool and tiki bar at the marina. It's a great setup. We've been there many times on the sailboat over the years. We really enjoyed Oriental. Great restaurants, very nice town. We cooked dinner on the grill at night. We enjoyed the pool and the tiki bar. Oriental is a great destination. The next morning, the weather was even better, still very warm, and we headed out for about a 43-mile trip over to Ocracoke Island. There we anchored out in Silver Lake and had a great time. Ocracoke Island is a great cruising destination, and we have been there many times as well. Another nice thing about it is it's very protected. When we were there were very few other boats anchored out. There were people that were workers that worked in local businesses during the summer. One other boat that was there was Tula's Endless Summer, who on YouTube have a great channel, and you should check it out. Anchored out in Ocracoke, we were able to use our inflatable roll-up dinghy and our electric e-propulsion e-light outboard. It worked great. We used it for the day we got there and most of the next day, tooling around the harbor, going back and forth to the boat. Didn't have to go great distances, so we only used a small amount of the battery capacity of the outboard. I have the boat set up where I can charge the outboard and my power stations directly through the solar panels. That was a great benefit too. I was able to use the power station to use a induction burner for making coffee in the morning and things like that, so we didn't have to fire the generator up. We had plenty of battery power. During the day, the solar panels put out more power than the boat was consuming with refrigeration and whatever electronics we had on. And in addition to the Garmin chart plotter, I also used a tablet with Aqua Maps on it. It contains a lot of crowdsourced data and was a great addition to the navigation system. The following afternoon, we left Ocracoke for the 70-mile run up the Sound back to our home in Collington Harbor. It was a good day, a little bit of a following sea, but a smooth ride. So there you have it. 4 days and 3 nights on the Jeanneau. Was very comfortable, and we would do it again. In fact, we're going up to the Chesapeake Bay next month, and I'll give you a report back on how that goes. Have a great day. Thanks for watching.